Hi everyone, it's Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube. It has been a little bit. I really haven't been doing a whole lot of stitching. I mentioned in my last video that I was getting ready to go to a gaming convention in Wisconsin. I did that. It was a ton of fun. I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. We also had my daughter's 18th birthday. We had a family get-together where we all, my dad rented a pavilion, like an enclosed pavilion on the lake. And we went and hung out with my family all weekend last weekend. So yeah, I just haven't really picked up my stitching as much. But yeah, I've done some. I'll show that a little bit later. But I wanted to start off by talking about a project that I made for my niece for her birthday in January. I forgot to share it on my last FlossTube. It'll probably be the thumbnail, but I'll go ahead and post it up here too. And this is the finished project as I gave it to her. It's a quote from Hamilton. It's by, I believe, Circus Stitches on Etsy. And I'll link it in the description below in case you're interested in looking at that pattern or anything else they might do. They have a lot of like Broadway quotes. I want to say they have some movie quotes too. Some fun stuff there. So yeah, she had asked for that for her birthday. I made that. It was on her mom's Christmas sheet, and she saw it and got excited about it. So I surprised her. It was a pretty quick stitch. So that was fun. As I said, I haven't really been stitching a whole lot. So I kind of, after a couple of weeks of not really stitching, decided I just needed to sit down and do something. So I didn't worry about Stitchopoly. I didn't worry about School of Magical Stitches and Literature and doing homework. I just stitched. I didn't... Excuse me, got something in my throat. So yeah, I decided to start just by working on the Doctor Who piece for my mother. I will link, this is, the pattern I have is called 11 Doctors. I will link the new pattern, which is called The Doctors. It's by Wee Little Stitches on Etsy. I'll also put a picture of the thumbnail so you know what it's supposed to look like at the end. I've mentioned this before. I took the TARDIS and put it on the left side so then I can just string the doctors out after that instead of trying to figure out, because my mom wasn't sure where she wanted to end with the doctors. I finished up John, let me just fold this over. I finished up the John Pertwee. I love how his hair just kind of sticks out. I think she does such a great job with these little pixel people. I really love them. But yeah, I finished him up. And so that got me back into, that's how I got back into doing some stitching after taking a little bit of a hiatus. This is a, I believe, 16 count Ada that I painted using textile medium and some gray acrylic paint. I really like how it turned out. I'd like to do some more of that. Just kind of a fun way to add a little bit more interest to plain Ada cloth. But since these are all full cross stitch, there's no fractionals, Ada cloth works really well for that. So yeah, I did that, and then I decided I was ready to start doing some counting. So I only have 2 whips. Like I said, I haven't been doing a whole lot of stitching. So I'm gonna look at this real quick. I have the Monopoly board from Stitchopoly printed out. I think the last time I had done it, I had finished up Charting Creations. So I rolled the dice. I ended up on, I think I hit the, yeah, I hit the stitching break. So I rolled a 4, hit the stitching break, and then I hit 8 and rolled DMC for 150 stitches. And then I just kept going and rolled 9 from there and got Paula Vaughn for 330 stitches. So I've put in just over, what, 480 stitches on this since the last time you saw it. And this is Sword and Shield. This is a daily cross stitch pattern. I will put a picture of what it's supposed to look like up here again, and put a link down below. This is on a 22 count Hardinger, just plain white. It's a little bit of a mess, but I've done quite a bit on this, I think, since, I mean, I did 480 stitches, almost 500 stitches on it, so I guess that would make sense. I have an AJ here. This is one of my kitty cats, or our kitty cats. he has been really clingy lately. I don't know. So he's headbutting me right now. You can kind of see his face a little bit. I don't know if he'll pop up or not. But, yeah, I'm going to have to do some frogging. I'm looking at this, and I know that's not right. So that, at some point, is going to have to come out. But I think I'm just going to work down and then figure out how to fix it when I get to that point. But, yeah, so that's all the stitching I've done. I'm hoping that I'm back into it. I have an issue where I think of stitching as kind of like a seasonal sport. I tend to do a lot more stitching in the autumn and winter. I'm really trying to break that. It's one of the reasons I'm doing FlossTube, is that I think maybe it will help me stitch more all year long and not just in that half a year or so. But I don't know. It's just something about, you know, curling up and watching football on TV and stitching. My husband watches a lot of games that I'm not really that interested in, both college and professional. I follow one college team, I follow one professional team, and if the game doesn't impact anything to do with those teams, I really don't really care about it. So, yeah, so I do a lot of stitching during football season, especially because I'll just sit here with my husband while he watches. My focus just went crazy while he watches and stitch. So yeah, I'm trying to do a little bit more in the spring and summer this year. So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, March was just kind of a crazy busy month. So the only other thing I have to show, and it's not much, just a couple of things I picked up. This is for one of my Christmas present projects, I think. I haven't decided yet for sure that I'm using it, but it's just a 28 count even weave in a, I probably should have taken it out, but in a light blue. It's a pretty color. And then the other thing, I had mentioned that I had, I didn't have any silver acrylic for the Let It Snow by Country Cottage House Needleworks. I don't know why I can't get that right. So yeah, I'm almost finished with that. I just lack like a few stitches and the metallic. I picked up this silver, also from Hobby Lobby, this Artiste. It's not focusing at all. Nope. Anyway, I picked up this kind of silver metallic. We'll see how it goes. I've never stitched with this, so maybe next time I'll be able to report to you how stitching with this went. Yeah, like I said, I've never used it. I don't even know what it's comparable to. I don't know who makes it, because obviously that's the Hobby Lobby store brand. So yeah, that's all I've picked up. I think I've mentioned it before. I'm a fairly budget conscious person, so I have to watch what I buy, and you know, I mean, I'm not fast at this hobby, so it doesn't bother me. It's not like I'm whipping out a project a week or a project a month even, really. So, especially when I'm doing larger projects like I've got going on right now. So, yeah, I have some purchases coming up because I need to finish buying the stuff for the Christmas presents. If you're not sure what I'm talking about with that, I will link that video down so you can see what I gave everybody in my family for Christmas. And so that'll be in the description as well. And then the last thing, I do want to talk a little bit about the gaming convention I went to, because like I said, it was a ton of fun. And it's going to tie in with my game that I share with y'all this week. Or a month, or however you want to look at it. I'm not going to be doing another video before the end of March. So, we left, my brother and sister-in-law came and picked me up Wednesday morning. They left their house bright and early Wednesday, probably like 7 o'clock. It's a 7 or so hour drive from where I live to where we were going. It's an 11-hour drive for them. So they picked me up en route. Luckily, I am en route, so they didn't really have to go out of their way at all. I mean, they just had to turn into a gas station in the town, which they needed gas anyway, so that worked out. So yeah, they picked me up. We went, I mean, we pretty much drove straight through. We stopped for gas and bathroom breaks, but that's about it. We got there, checked into our hotel, which was not on site. We stayed at a hotel about 3 miles away, then drove to the convention center. The convention didn't officially start until Thursday. but we were able to pick up our badges on Wednesday night, so we got our badges. Got that taken care of, decided to go out, found a few people that we knew, hung out with them for a little bit, decided to go get some dinner, went to Culver's, which I have a Culver's pretty near me, but they don't in Little Rock, which is where they're from. So yeah, we went and got some Butterburgers, which I'm never going to turn down Culver's. I mean, I think you can get a decent, it's one of my favorite fast food restaurants. So went and got my Butterburger, and they got cheese curds because they had family members that told them that they needed to get cheese curds, that was important. My shirt is doing weird things. Sorry about that. My problem is that I'm really short, so things don't fit me correctly. It's just a thing, and I don't spend the extra money on petite clothing usually, though I do have some, like if I have to. I mean, I don't typically go out in sweatshirts that much, but it was chilly in my house this morning. Tangent, sorry. So yeah, we went, did that, got checked in, went back after dinner, and just kind of hung out with some of the people that we knew for a little bit before heading back to the hotel and turning in for the night. I ran, over the course of the weekend, I ran 5 games and played in 2, and I was there specifically to run, this is my favorite RPG system, and this is my game of the week. I know it's not a board game, it's an RPG, but it is called Dungeon Crawl Classics, and there is a major amount of glare. There we go. It is based a lot off of Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. Uses the D20 system, if you're familiar with that, and it's a system I like a whole lot. I like a lot of things about it. I'm going to talk just a little bit about, in case you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, a little bit about the differences. There's some stat differences. There's a stat here called luck. So in luck, you use it, and this is some of the old school. This is considered an old school Renaissance OSR product. So there's a stat called luck, which you roll under. So you have to either meet or roll below. So the higher your luck, the better chance you're going to roll all of these on a D20, which is a 20-sided die, in case you're not familiar with that. You're going to roll that in order to pass that check. Most everything else you're going to roll normal, like you would in D&D, where you're adding or subtracting a modifier to your roll. But yeah, I ran... one of the things I like about DCC is that, or Dungeon Crawl Classics, is that you start out, like you know, I mean, you can obviously start wherever you want because that's the way these games work. But if you start out at the beginning, you don't have a class. You are a level 0 peasant who has been called to adventure for whatever reason, and you're going out with your shovel or your rake or your rolling pin if you're a baker. You have like a tool of the trade that actually doubles as your weapon, and some random like item that you might have, like it might be a flask, it might be a torch, it might be some rope, it might be a bag full of seeds. I mean, it just depends on what you end up with. There's tables. I like tables a lot in role-playing games. I like rolling on tables. So it was one of the very first things that got me hooked on this system. I've been running it since 2014. So we picked it up actually in 2012, but I had some bad experiences DMing games back in the day when I was running or playing D&D, and so I wasn't sure. And then for Father's Day in 2014, I was like, I'm just going to run this for my husband and my daughter. So I picked up a module, and that was my Father's Day present for my husband, was that I was going to run, and I fell in love with it. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed running. It was a much different, maybe it was because of the people I was playing with, because I was playing with a much larger group. So yeah, that is what my game of the week is. If you are interested in role-playing games, check this one out. I have another YouTube channel. It's called You're No Hero, which is based on this system. I will link it. There's not a lot of videos up. I'm still trying to find my way in that one as well. So, but I will also link this. I'll link the website to this down below as well. That is really pretty much all I have to share with you today. I don't I just didn't have a lot that I did. Hopefully next time I will have more, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.